Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and welcome back to my sports podcast. For today's guest, we have someone on social media, someone on TikTok, who loves creating content and is a huge Baltimore Ravens fan. Josh, thank you for coming on the show.
What's up, man? Good to be here. I'm ready.
Yeah, let's go. So for my podcast, how I always start off every single episode, no matter who is on, is I start off and I do NFL Wordle. Do you know what Wordle is?
Oh, is this Wordle?
Yeah, Wordle.
Oh, I haven't done this in a minute, man. I used to do this every day.
All right. So I'm gonna screenshot and everything on my end so they'll see it on the screen. But so you can give me a player. You're the guest. So you give me a player. I'll type it in.
This is the version with all players, right? It's not just the cheap offense, or is it that one?
We can do all players if you want.
I like the unlimited. Yeah, that's the fun one.
All right. That's the hard version, I'm pretty sure. So all right. So go ahead. I'll let you pick.
Why not start with Lamar, right?
There we go. Lamar
nice
Jackson. That's what I like. Okay. So
28.
not an AFC player.
Yeah. So he's on defense. He's defense, but look at this. It's gonna be low. It's gonna be first, either number 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's true.
Or 5.
That's true.
NFC defense, single digit.
I think it's like a corner.
The first name that that makes sense.
Jared Verse? Oh no, he's not 28. Never mind.
Yeah, but put him in because actually don't put him in yet. Let's see if we can think of it. Let's see if we can get this in 2 here.
Okay. Okay.
28. So we're thinking drafted around 28, 17, 18. Actually, no, 28 is probably 2019, honestly, because Lamar was really young.
Yeah.
So let's go 2019. Let's go
Who plays
for
Atlanta?
This is nowhere near 2019. This is 2023, but it's just a name that works for a couple of these, and we can definitely help us narrow it down. Put in Devin Witherspoon.
Okay.
It's not the answer, but Owen.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay.
That gotta help us. Yeah. So he's a DB. He is. I don't know why I thought he was. I don't know why I even said him. It was just for some reason that popped in my head. But DB.
Isn't there a corner that is a low number that plays for Atlanta? Or no?
AJ Terrell, is he a low number? I'm not good with jersey numbers. AJ Terrell, though, it might be who you're thinking of.
That's NFC South.
Yeah. You could try it.
Okay.
That age-wise, I feel like that works. That could definitely be the answer.
Yeah.
Like the A.J.
Yeah. Oops.
Maybe it's weird.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
NFC South, not Atlanta. But they're 6'1". Okay, so they're 28 years old still. Okay, so we need the jersey number. So
J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn's the answer.
Yes.
The answer is J.C. Horn.
Let's just type in Horn.
No, it's not. It's Carolina though. Oh yeah, because J.C.'s number 8. Hold on.
This is all you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what number Xavier Woods is. But that could work. You could put in Xavier Woods.
Okay. Boom. Okay, not Xavier Woods.
Damn. Yeah, I'm terrible with jersey numbers. I'd be able to have this. Who else is even in the secondary?
Yeah, I don't know. I could name like 5 players on Carolina.
No, but I know. I know. I need to think. Because Jeremy Chin's gone, not him. And you got. I'm trying to visualize it.
You're good.
Damn, I know it too.
Do we want to put do we want to try and narrow down the jersey number? So, for example, we could put like Jerry Jeudy. He wears number 2 or something?
No, because it's not even that. It's not like the jersey number. It's I'm trying to think of his name.
I know.
I'm trying to think of the players in the secondary. Listen, this defense broke the single season points allowed record. All right. They weren't good.
Yeah.
They literally allowed more points this season than any defense in the history of the NFL. This is a bad defense. This is driving me crazy.
It's okay. It's all right. Do we want to pause it and then I can continue the
Yeah,
podcast.
let's
And we
just
can
get
come
into
back.
talking in half an hour. The name's gonna randomly pop into my head.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Okay.
Like, that's just
So I'm
how
gonna
this stuff
click
is, isn't it?
stop share. Yeah, it's exactly how it goes. Perfect. Here we go. All right. So yeah, NFL Wordle. So I'll definitely input that on there. So I like.
Stay tuned for later in the episode when I randomly shout out the name. Because that's
Exactly.
what's going to happen.
Exactly. So on my podcast, I like to interview like athletes, local athletes that are going to be committing, etc. And what I like to do is I give them the opportunity for people to get to know them underneath the helmet, and just
like that.
for people to just get to know who they are, right? Because you just see a football player, they post all these things, they get stats, offers, and then that's all you see about them. You don't get to know who
Right.
they are. So I want to do the same thing with you a little bit. Whereas like I've seen you on social media, I see you post these videos, but I don't know much about you aside from you're a Ravens fan. That's the only thing I know, and your name is Josh, right? So first thing here is some of these questions you don't have to answer if you think they're too personal, but I always like to ask them. So
I'm
is
pretty
one
much an open book. I mean, you gotta ask me something real personal for me not to give it to you.
okay? Is where are you from?
Well, Baltimore.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, so you're in
Where the-
Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm in Baltimore. I mean, I go to every game. Yeah, I'm very much a
Oh.
Baltimore. Like, I'm Baltimore County. Like, yeah,
Okay.
I live
All right.
solid 20 minutes away from M&T Bank Stadium.
No way. Okay, because the game was in Buffalo. That's why. Because you posted that road trip thing, and for some reason it didn't click that
Yeah.
it was in Buffalo. Okay. All right.
No,
So are you currently in school right now?
Yeah. So I'm in community college because my parents want me to do college.
Okay.
If it was up to me, I'd be doing. I mean, I pretty much do this full time.
Yeah.
I have classes that I do because I'm supposed to.
Nice.
But me and school have never gotten along. Never have, never will. I got every learning difference in the book except for the most popular one, dyslexia, just because I'm special. They didn't give me the most popular one. They gave me all the other ones. And ever since I was 10, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Sports media, broadcast. This is how it's going to be. And then over time, when I was 15, right when COVID hit, a couple of days later is when the Next Network starts. Me and Michael have built this thing up. He's a senior in high school. He's 2.5 years younger than me. He was 13 when we started, which is hilarious to look back on. But I miss squeaky voice Michael. That was peak. But this is what I love to do. I mean, anyone who knows me or really, like, for those of you that really watch my content, I don't shy away from, like, I'm very passionate about this stuff. This is what I love to do. And for me, it's just like just grinding towards making my dream what it is, and we've gotten there. We're getting there. I'm happy with where I'm at, but I'm not satisfied. I mean, we just keep going. And I mean, I see all these content creators of the Super Bowl. And it's like, damn, I want to go next year. Next year, I saw the media day stuff, and some of the creators that were asking terrible questions just to troll pissed me off. And I was like, no, because there are people there like Theo Ash who are so good.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing all these posts online that are like, next year they only need to let journalists in. Can I curse on here?
Sure.
Yeah, like, fuck you. No, that's not how this works. First of all, that's not where the world is headed. If you think that real media is not people online, then you just don't understand. I mean, I don't even need to get into how influential podcasts are in particular nowadays, but it pissed me off. The wrong creators are there, where they're making people like me look bad. People like Theo, who are killing it at the Super Bowl, look bad. But it's like, no, next year I want to go. I don't know why that was. I mean, of course, who doesn't want to go to the Super Bowl? But for some reason, seeing those clips, we're like, damn, I want to go now.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the draft the last couple of years. I'll be at the draft again this year. That's always fun. But yeah.
So
we went from where are you from to that.
Well, that's fine. That kind of was leading into my other questions of like when it started, which you already answered. And then So you've been doing this for 5 years. So I want to ask this: how often do you post, or do you try to post every day? Do you try and post every other day? How do you navigate that?
I try and post at least once a day.
Okay,
that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
When it's summer, the only time where that's not realistic is summer. I mean, the only times where I don't go a day without posting is honestly if I'm just lazy that day. Like there's so much going on right now. It's easy to find content.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at least once a day is the goal.
So then with the next network, what is, I don't want to say end goal, but what is your goal with it? Do you want to, create like your media company and then your own sports company, or do you look that far in the future?
Oh yeah. So here's the thing. Me and Michael, who there's Michael Mursky's the other guy I run this account with. We have different goals. He is a journalist. He is going to be the voice of a team. He's like the play-by-play guy. I am telling you, this is not him talking. This is me talking. He is going to be the voice of an NFL team within the next 20 years. It'll happen. He's that good. There is no one his age that has more experience than him. I mean, the dude's 17 years old and has called literally hundreds of games for an audience. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. He's really good at it, and he already has a lot of connections. But that's kind of the path. He's going to be a journalist. I am not. I don't want to be. I like content creation, social media, podcasts, street interviews have been something I've discovered last year. I mean, that has been a new form of content for me that I've loved doing, where that's my lane. That's what I'm good at. I also, let's be honest here, am not someone who wants to be let's put it this way. I don't want to be your typical journalist, the guy in the suit who's all professional, and I don't want that. There are rules in the press box that I think, like, in a press box, you can't cheer, you can't make any noise, you have to be silent. I am incapable of doing that during a football game. Depending on the game, I might not cheer for anybody, but having no reaction at all, and not making any noise, like, I'd get kicked out. Let's be honest. Like, it's just what happened. But even beyond that, that's not me. I don't want to do that. I want to be with the fans. I like sitting in 510, where my seat's at the Ravens Stadium, in the upper deck, in the nosebleeds, which I will die on the hill is the best place to watch a football game, by the way. But I like being with the fans. Of course, the access that comes with being a journalist is great, but I don't want to be like in the press box. Yeah. Sure, that's cool, but I feel like you're not getting the full experience. Mm-hmm. If there was a way, which as of right now there isn't, to like sit in your seats and then go to the press conferences afterwards, that'd be great. Yeah. But like that's not how it is.
Okay. Interesting. I love that. I
didn't actually answer your question. I just realized. I want to grow. I just want to domination. I want to just keep going.
That's good. Awesome. Next question, which is kind of like a question out of left field, is: did you play football in high school?
I am 5'4". I am the most average athlete you'll ever meet. If you put me against athletic people, I look very unathletic. If you put me against unathletic people, I look athletic. I'm like right in the middle. No, I absolutely did not play sports, period, in high school. I managed basketball. My school actually didn't have a football team, but basketball, I managed. But no, I'm not I didn't play.
So if you did, or maybe if you don't want to, but what position do you think you would choose if you had the height and the build?
Okay, if I'm any height or build I want to be?
Yes.
I mean, quarterback would be
okay.
Like, if I could just be whatever, sure. Or just like, that's just, to me, is the most fun. You get to run the show.
Yeah. I played in high school. I played quarterback, and I'll tell you, that's the hardest position. And
of course it is.
I know you know that, but it's hard, man. It's crazy. Golf is the hardest sport I've ever played. Quarterback is the hardest position I've ever played. Oh man.
What about golf? Like, it's so hard.
The ball.
Did it just not because it didn't come naturally to you, or is it just like the actual sport is hard?
The actual sport is hard. I feel like a lot of, especially pro athletes, will tell you the hardest sport to play is golf.
Everyone says baseball, I feel like.
Baseball and golf, those are the two hardest. In my opinion, it's golf, but those are the top two. It's just the ball isn't moving, and as stupid as that sounds, it's hard to hit, and you get a perfect hit 1 out of every 100 hits, and right. the rest are just good misses. Right. Now I played golf in high school a little bit as well. I grew up playing golf. My dad played in college on a full ride, and then he played professional for a couple years. So I know how to play, and I understand I'm decent, but it's still hard. It's
interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah. All right. So those are all of my questions for you, just to give the audience a chance to get to know you a little bit more, and yeah. So now next one, moving on, Super Bowl. Okay. Currently, pre Super Bowl 59, where do you rank Patrick Mahomes all time on quarterbacks? 2? Okay, I agree. So that's fine. I love that. A lot of, before you go, I feel like a lot of, I want to use this word lightly because I don't like using it, but casuals don't
even get me started.
Don't like that Mahomes is second all time.
Even get
before he even won this last Super Bowl, he was second all time for me. That's just he's just that great. And then he won that Super Bowl last year, and people were like, "Oh yeah, he's second all time." Some people just haters because they hate and etc. But I'm glad we can agree there.
In 2020, I remember telling people in 2020 he had won Super Bowl.
Yeah, this was against the Bucs.
This is against the Bucs, but this was before. I think it was in the middle of the season I said this.
Okay.
This is the most naturally gifted quarterback in the history of the NFL.
100%.
I said that in his third season, halfway through his third season. It was like, no, there's never been a player like this. Where, from a natural talent standpoint, there has never, ever been anyone that does it. What is so incredible about him is if you go back and watch him in 2018, which statistically is his peak, because, I mean, that season was amazing. But if you watch him now, you watch the growth that he has, where he was just, it's incredible that his best statistical season really is the year where he kind of just relied on his natural ability, and that was about it.
Yeah.
Now he is anything that he is the most consistent quarterback in the NFL. Go back and watch the way he used to play. He was throwing off his back foot. He was doing the craziest things, and they worked because he was that good, but it was not sustainable. The way he was playing was, eventually he's going to throw 25 interceptions, and it's just going to completely fall apart.
Yeah.
He still has the ability to make those throws, and when he absolutely needs to, he still does. But now he is the best pocket passer in the NFL also. He's a complete player.
Yeah.
It's incredible what he can do. He is...
So then... Go ahead. No, mine's a different question. Go ahead.
All right. He has had about GOAT this, GOAT that. Brady's career is, to me, it's all about that longevity and what Brady did.
Agree.
If he wants to catch Brady, he's got to keep going.
Yeah, 100%.
But there is no debate. It is not even close. He has had the best 20s. He's 29. The 20s for him, by far, the best in NFL history. And he is so far ahead of second.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Second, now that I'm thinking about second place, who would be just for their 20s? It's not Brady, just because like he won a lot in his 20s, but he wasn't like Peyton Manning was.
I was just about to say Manning.
It might be Peyton Manning.
I was just about to say Manning, yeah.
Probably.
Or maybe never mind. I was gonna say Rodgers, but Rodgers didn't start his first couple years.
Yeah,
so
probably
mind.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And he's so far above what Peyton was.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
So then next question, it's a two-parter to this, is if Mahomes wins this Super Bowl, is he still 2 on your list?
Probably.
Okay.
The thing about Super Bowl 51, Patriots-Falcons, at least for me, I don't know if everyone feels this way, but I would be surprised if, maybe you don't agree, but I'm sure a lot of people watching or listening would probably have the same feeling. I remember that game, where as you were watching that game, you were realizing that he was the best to ever do it. If that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
When Super Bowl, when he was making that comeback and you were watching what he was doing, it was the moment that made at least me sit back and go, dang. Where, like, if the Chiefs win, sure. And I can't even tell you what it would be. But if he has a moment like that, maybe. Mm-hmm. But there has to be something that happens that makes me go, wow. It could be something really simple. Honestly, it could be some nice 8-yard pass. And for whatever reason, something registers in my head. That's entirely possible. Uh-huh. But so it's tough to answer. But winning 3 in a row is
never been incredible.
Done. The thing is, this year has been, ever since the start of the year, I've been this is the 2018 Patriots.
Yeah.
Where this isn't Mahomes. This is the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's what's so different. Mm-hmm. It was similar last year, but not to this level.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
You look back at 2019 and 2021, of course the teams were good. You don't win a Super Bowl without a good team. But Mahomes was doing a lot. Mm-hmm. This year, it is just a unit. They're so good.
Yeah.
And I know people want to cry and complain about how they get cheated and this and that. And am I going to sit here and tell you that they've gotten 0 calls to go their way? Of course not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Of course they've gotten calls to go their way. But anyone who tries to use that to discredit the Chiefs is hating for the sake of hating.
I agree.
And it's just dumb.
Yeah. I'll say this. So I agree with like the original answer to to the question, which was, will he surpass Brady or will he be the GOAT? No, he's still going to be 2. And then I'll go back to your point of Super Bowl 51. I'll never forget sitting there 28-3 and just celebrating because I'm a Dolphins fan. I was born in Miami and I live in Florida, so I'm a Dolphins fan. I hated Brady. I respected him. I got to give respect where it's due, no matter if I agree or disagree with you. I hated him because he always won, and of course he's in my division. Watching him come back from that game, I don't think I've been more pissed off at Brady winning a Super Bowl. I mean, that was only for Super Bowl number 5. That wasn't even for 6. And then that's the thing. To me, in my opinion, I'm a big Joe Montana guy. I loved Joe Montana. I'm not old enough to have watched him, but I love Joe Montana. When Brady won number 7 in Tampa, to me, that made him undisputed to go.
Yeah, I agree. That was the
undisputed
moment.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, I still in my mind, I still agreed. You know, I wouldn't be upset if you said Brady was the GOAT, even though he only had 6 to Montana's 4. But I still think Montana was the GOAT. But like you said, that was the FU moment of like, yeah, I'm the GOAT.
That was the moment where it was like there was quite literally no argument that you can have to anyone.
Mm-hmm. And then to the last point that you made about the best start in your 20s, forget the best start in your 20s. The best start being a starter in your first 7 years.
Yeah.
It's not even like Brady's first 7 years. He had 3 Super Bowls. He won Super Bowl MVP his first year. He threw for like 140 yards and an interception with no touchdowns and won Super Bowl MVP. If Mahomes won Super Bowl MVP on those stats, everyone would be ridiculing him. So that's one. But anyways, first 3 years, they went back-to-back. Then they missed the playoffs. Then they won. But Brady wasn't Brady until his MVP season. I tell that to everybody. Brady was not Brady until his MVP season. But
that defense won 3 Super Bowls.
Exactly. Whoa, what was I going to say? But yeah, Patrick Mahomes doesn't know anything besides losing in the AFC Championship game. That's all he knows. That's all he knows. And that's crazy to even say. And people don't understand the historical start Patrick Mahomes is on to his career right now. Brady went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. He went to 2. He lost to Manning both times. But, I mean, imagine if Mahomes wins the Super Bowl. He's at 4. You're telling me for the next 10 years he's not going to win another Super Bowl? No shot. No shot. No shot.
The other thing is quarterbacks more than anyone else. People like rings this, rings that. And here's the thing about the rings, where the thing with here's the thing with Mahomes. That's what I meant to say. Is he is now, even if they lose on Sunday, the only quarterback that truly has the numbers and the rings.
Yeah.
Where, of course, Brady has it because they're inflated because he did it for so long. Like the efficiency numbers, Mahomes is right there at number one. It's like him and Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh yeah, he also has 3, potentially 4 rings at 29 years old.
It's just crazy to say. That's just crazy to say. Aaron Rodgers, I have him here that we'll talk about him eventually. This next point also pertains to the Super Bowl. If Jalen Hurts wins this Super Bowl, does it change the way we or the media will talk about Jalen Hurts? Meaning, like, will we say he's elite? Or maybe you already think he's elite. Will we put him in that top category of Lamar, Burrow, Mahomes, and Allen? So that's my question to you.
Well, it depends on how you view quarterbacks.
Okay.
Is kind of my answer to that. Where if you are someone that's like, if you value winning as a quarterback thing, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I agree.
If you're someone who says, no, there's more to that, which I would say I am. I would say that, yeah, of course, wins are great. I think wins do more for your legacy than they do for necessarily how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can say Jalen Hurts is amazing without saying that he is on the level of Lamar, Allen, Mahomes, and Burrow. Watch them play.
Yeah.
Do you think he's as good as them? I don't. Does that mean that he's bad? Of course not.
No.
Does that mean that he is not a guy that can win a Super Bowl? Of course not. He's already been to one and might win one on Sunday at 27, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's awesome. I wouldn't put him on that level just because I don't think he's as talented, but I'm sure a lot of people would, and I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I would.
I agree. I think S tier is Mahomes alone. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Then A tier is Lamar, Allen, and Burrow.
And you can rank them in any order you want. I don't care.
Yep. And then at the B tier is where I currently have Jalen Hurts. I may have him towards the end, but I still have him in that category. I think if he wins,
but
for me,
way,
he
you know
stays
who
there.
else is in that tier? You know who I think is the next best quarterback in the NFL outside of Lamar?
Jayden Daniels. Yeah. And I got him on here. We're going to talk about him too. So.
He's a dog, man.
Yeah. But yeah, to me, he's going to stay in that category because I just think Joe Burrow is just such a good passer. I think he processes at such an elite level. And especially they run a lot of empty because Burrow likes to get those one-on-one matchups. He likes to literally pick. I know it sounds stupid that a quarterback gets to pick where they want to go with the football, but pre-snap you can, and it forces the defense to play a lot of man, a lot of nickel as well. So it's he just gets the ball out so quickly, so decisive with the football, barely turns it over. Give that man an offensive line offensive line was a little bit better, but give him a solid offensive line and a good defense.
Please don't.
Oh yeah.
Please don't give him that.
Yeah.
I am perfectly fine with him throwing for all these yards and touchdowns and going 9-8. I that is ideal, actually. I would prefer that.
That's funny. So Super Bowl predictions. He does need more help. Let's. What is your Super Bowl prediction? Okay, I'll ask you this first. Who do you think is going to win, and who do you want to win?
I want Philly.
You want Philly to win? Okay.
No, fuck the Chiefs.
Okay.
Listen, I can respect them and acknowledge that they're good,
Absolutely.
and not be some just guy who wants to hate for the wants to not give credit for the sake of not giving credit without hating that team.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hate them. Especially as who's your dog? You're a Dolphins fan, so this is an AFC team now. Like
it's different for me, but
us, we're so close. Like we should have had at least one by now.
Yeah.
Last year in particular, but I completely zoned out.
So you said who you want to win. So Philly, who do you think is going to win?
Who do I think? I the entire time I've been leaning the Chiefs. I still haven't firmly decided. I haven't announced it, but every time I've been asked and every time I've talked about it, I've made clear which way I'm leaning. I'm still not going to confirm it because I still have time to change my mind. I'm not going to lock in my pick until tomorrow.
Yeah.
On my show, Burns and Berman. But at this point, I'd probably be surprised if we don't pick the Chiefs just because I've been leaning that way the whole time. But in thinking about this game, I kind of developed this way of thinking that isn't necessarily that helpful this time because it wound up coming out 3-2. And I want to go through with you in a second.
Okay.
Where I think next year, because we do picks every single week. And obviously, every week, there's a couple of games that you're going to be torn on. And I think this could be a good way of helping me where if I go through these 5 things and I'm torn and it's 5-0 one way or 4-1 one way, that's probably my pick. If it's 3-2, like it is here, it might not be that helpful. But the only way for this to work is you got to give an answer every time.
Okay.
All right. Low-scoring defensive slugfest. Who wins that game?
Low-scoring defensive slugfest. Who wins that game? I'm going to go Chiefs.
I agree. Average scoring game. Both teams play just the way they usually do. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's a one-score game. Who wins that one?
One-score game is Chiefs.
Yep. Absolute shootout. Who wins that one? Both offenses are just humming.
I'm going to go Philly.
I agree. Yeah, we're okay. Blowout. Who wins that one?
Man, Chiefs.
Yeah. And then game goes to overtime.
Chiefs.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Blowout. I thought Philly.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think Philly would blow them out. I think that would be more likely.
Okay.
And then overtime would be Chiefs. But for you, that's 4-1 Kansas City. Like that's kind of that would, I feel like is helpful in terms of thinking of a way to pick.
Okay.
When it's 3-2, it's like I don't know. But I still just don't see the Eagles winning unless if the offense just everything works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't see a world where they do anything except for do everything that they are capable of and win. They have to do it like that.
Okay.
You just can't against this team.
Okay.
And I think the Chiefs can win in a lot of different ways. And of course, there is this experience. Now, it's not to the same level because the Eagles were here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So there is less of that this year. But the Super Bowl is such a circus where if you have a team that's been there and then a team that hasn't been there, there's a huge advantage one way. Mm-hmm. This year, that's not necessarily the case because the Eagles were there 2 years ago. But the Chiefs it's an annual tradition in Kansas City, so they know what to do.
So so when I made my playoff bracket a month ago, I predicted Chiefs Eagles in the Super Bowl. That was my matchup, and I had the Chiefs winning. And I'm not going to switch up. As much as I think the Eagles' run offense is spectacular, the Chiefs have not allowed a single 100-yard rusher since 2019. So,
really?
yes. I'm going to like a single 100-yard rusher, not a whole team rushing for 100 yards or more.
I was about to say, because actually, I feel like they've struggled against the run in the playoffs.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stick Chiefs. I think Kansas City comes out on top, and I think they get the 3-peat. Who do I want to win? I know I'm an AFC guy, but I want the Chiefs to win just because it's history. It's a 3-peat.
Yeah, no,
never been done before.
So
exactly what I was gonna say. I'm rooting for greatness. If Philly wins, I'm not gonna hate it. That's not gonna bother me. It's cool if Philly wins because Saquon will finally get his ring. After being in such a horrible organization and pick Daniel Jones over him. So, yeah, that'd be cool.
It's going to be interesting. The one thing that people do have to remember, and isn't something that people should just gloss over, the better team is Philly.
I agree.
And that's the only reason why I can't lock in the Chiefs as my pick yet. Because every time I'm like, I think the Chiefs are going to win, that thought in the back of my head is like, but Philly is better than them.
But they don't have 15, Josh.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They don't have number 15.
And they don't have Andy Reid, and they don't have Spags.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited.
I am too.
All right, next one. Jayden Daniels. All right, told you we were going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it right now. So, obviously, great rookie season. And you can classify him up there as the greatest rookie quarterback season of all time or greatest rookie season of all time. In my opinion, I don't like how there were so many good rookies in this class and how his great season overshadowed Brock Bowers' rookie season and broke records that had been standing for 45 years.
I agree.
So, but that's not to take anything away from Jayden Daniels. But that being said, I'm seeing a lot of people put Jayden Daniels in a top 7, top 5 quarterback currently. And I disagree on that. And now that doesn't mean I think he's trash. I think he's a really good quarterback, especially being a rookie. And I'll say this. People did the same thing with CJ Stroud last year. He played great, went to the playoffs, beat the Browns, got smoked by the Ravens. And then now he's in this sophomore slump, if you want to call it. Didn't play as good as he did his rookie season, throwing 23 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions. But that being said, where do you think Jayden Daniels ranks? Like, is it in that 7 to 10 range? Is it in the 10 to 15 range? Like, where would you currently rank him?
Fully understanding your point and not even disagreeing with your point. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFL, not named Lamar, Allen, Burrow, or Mahomes.
Okay. Come a little closer. I can't.
Yeah, sorry. But like, that's a valid point. You're not wrong.
Okay.
But he's just like, again, it's one of those things where you watch him, man. He is so good.
Yeah.
He is very, very, very talented. Now, another thing that is worth noting with the Commanders is they aren't that good.
Meaning?
He was that good.
Okay.
The roster around him, it was other than Sam Cosmi, not a great offensive line. Other than Terry McLaurin, a bad receiving core.
Yeah.
The defense was not bad, terrible this season.
Yeah.
They had special teams issues. Yes, Dan Quinn did a great job with the culture. Yes, guys did step up in big moments. But if you look at their body of work as a team, they weren't that good. But then they won 12 games and were 4 quarters away from a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the only player that truly had a season that would make you go, oh yeah, that's a 12-5 team, was him.
Mm-hmm.
Terry was great though too, I will say. He, as a rookie, was so impactful with a team that just wasn't ready to win. And then you say, we're going to win anyway.
Yeah. They went from 4-13 to 12-5.
And you know what's scary?
He's only a rookie.
They have so many resources this offseason.
Cap space.
They have all the cap space in the world.
Yeah.
They can get a lot better.
So then let's do this. So you're probably going to pick Jayden Daniels, but we're going to do Would You Rather Jayden Daniels edition with another quarterback. Okay. Tua or Jayden Daniels?
Jayden Daniels.
Okay, I agree. Jared Goff or Jayden Daniels?
In a vacuum, we're just talking about who I think is better. Jayden Daniels.
Okay. CJ Stroud or Jayden Daniels?
They're like right there.
Okay.
Jayden Daniels can do more things. You can use him in different ways. If you're a team that wants to run the ball, yeah, him. He just had, and then I think their passing abilities are pretty similar. And then Jayden Daniels can run the way he can. That puts him over the top.
Yeah. I meant to give my opinion as well. For Tua, Jayden Daniels, I'd take Jayden Daniels, even though I'm a Dolphins fan. Jared Goff, Jayden Daniels, I'm taking Jared Goff just because he's been in the league longer. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to NFC Championship games. That's my reasoning. CJ Stroud or Jayden Daniels, I'm taking Jayden Daniels. Next one is Joe Burrow or Jayden Daniels.
Oh, Burrow, come on.
Okay. This one is good. Brock Purdy or Jayden Daniels?
I love Brock Purdy, but come on. Jayden Daniels.
Okay.
I love Brock Purdy. I'm a Purdy fan. I am a Brock Purdy truther. I have always been a Purdy truther. I have constantly defended that man because I think he is very good. And I think he's a lot closer to Jayden Daniels than a lot of people might think. But I'm still taking Daniels.
Okay.
But Purdy is good.
Okay.
And people don't give him enough credit.
I agree. People he's only good because he has these weapons. Well, then what about Joe Burrow? Or what about, and then he loses all his weapons and people say, oh, he's trash. What if Joe Burrow lost T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and he played not MVP level? Would people say he's trash? No.
Of course.
Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Matthew Stafford or Jayden Daniels?
Daniels.
Wow. Okay, I'm taking Matt Staff. I love Matt Staff. Wow. Okay.
I would put Stafford in at this point in his career, he's still good, but I'm not putting him ahead of like a lot of the guys you've mentioned. Not all of them. I mean, I'm taking him over. I would take him over Tua. Okay. I'd take Goff over him. I'd take Purdy over him. I'd take, who else have you said?
CJ.
Yeah, I'd take Stroud over him.
Wow. Okay. Jordan Love or Jayden Daniels?
Jordan Love is weird. Like he's just Brett, bro. But no, Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels. Wow. I think this one is a lot closer than people think. Last year when Jordan Love and then they went to the playoffs and we know what happened against the Cowboys and then being a drive away from beating the Niners and going to the NFC Championship game. I think Jordan Love is a good quarterback, but I think people, I don't want to say gave him too much credit, but people put him on such a high pedestal, I think, just because of
I
that.
agree with that.
It was just his first season, and in my opinion, I ranked him at like 12 or 10 last season, but
I did that too when Packers fans came after me.
Yeah.
This past offseason when I made quarterback rankings, I had him like 10. People were like, what are you?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good quarterbacks.
Exactly, and I agree with what you just said. Just because we rank them low doesn't mean we think they're bad quarterbacks. It's just there's so many good and great quarterbacks in the NFL. You have to rank in a certain order.
I was about to say, is this exercise, my takeaway is there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there.
Oh, yeah. I think Jordan Love or Jayden Daniels, I think, honestly, it's just a flip of a coin.
Yeah.
I'm not mad either or, so I don't have an answer. Trevor Lawrence or Jayden Daniels?
Listen, T-Law is an average quarterback.
Thank you.
Now, he's not a bad quarterback.
Right.
But he's average.
Yeah.
I'd put him right at like 15, 16, like right in the middle.
I agree. Once he got drafted, which was in 2019?
Lawrence? No, he was 21.
He was in 2021?
Yeah.
Are you
He
serious?
lost 2021.
Damn. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, when he got drafted, I always said he's going to be a lesser version of Jared Goff. And so far, I'm exactly right. But yeah, so that was a good exercise. Next one is, who do you think should win MVP?
Okay.
And then who do you think is going to win MVP?
It sounds like Lamar's going to win. Because it just sounds like it. That's where it looks like it's headed. Okay. I am a big Ravens creator. I got crucified when I said that if you're talking about value, it's Josh Allen. What Ravens fans then did not want to hear is that I think value is a part of MVP. If you're talking about, if this is like the Heisman, for example, and there's no value attached, it's supposed to go to the best player, it should no doubt go to Lamar Jackson. If you're talking about value, kind of who had the best carry job, no doubt it should go to Josh Allen, in my opinion.
Whoa, okay.
So it depends on your definition of it. Where if you're talking about value, who did more with less? It's Allen. Who had a better season statistically and with the eye test? Absolutely Lamar. I mean, as someone who's watched every snap of that dude's career, he has always been good, and he's taken his ability to another level this year.
Mm-hmm.
He is so good, and so is Allen. But what Lamar did this year was insane. So it really, my answer is, what do you define MVP as? Because if you define it one way, it's Allen. If you define it the other, it's Lamar. That's why I think this vote, because something I like about NFL Honors is they've released the vote total. I bet you that the margin is going to be razor thin, and it should be.
Okay.
I hope it is, because then it's not going to be the media loves Lamar or the media loves Allen. It's, no, they were really close. And people aren't going to ride with the narrative that the media loves one and hates the other.
Okay.
Because it should be a close race.
Absolutely. I think Josh Allen is going to win it. I think, well, to me, MVP is worthless. I think it's a narrative-based award, in my opinion. And
there is also that factor.
Lamar won his, and now it's Josh Allen's turn. If I was a betting man, I'd bet that Josh Allen is going to win it tonight.
I think narrative, though, is important with that award.
Yes, but I think Lamar has had a better season, and he should win it, but he's already won a couple. Like, for example, if we go NBA real quick, Bron should have like 6-7 MVPs, but he doesn't, because he won it so many times that they're like, okay, he's won it enough. Let's give it to someone else. So that's how I feel about this. Who do I think should win it? I think Joe Burrow should win it, and I'll explain why. So one, we know they went 9-8, but he set records. So he threw for, I think it was 9 straight games, 250 plus yards and 2 touchdowns in 8 or 9 straight games. Never done in NFL history. So I think that's one thing, just the consistency of the numbers he's been able to put up. 2 is he's been able to put up those numbers. Of course, we know he has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Chase Brown. We know he has those guys. He's been able to put it up against the 3rd worst offensive line pass block in the NFL.
That is true.
So let's put that in perspective. He just set this NFL record against the 3rd worst offensive line. And mind you, he had, I think, in terms of points given up, one of the worst defenses in the entire NFL. I can look it up real quick and give you that answer. So if we go here, 2024, if we go team defense, where is points against? Cincinnati is 7th. They've given up the 7th most points in the NFL. So, and people like to point about that record, and that's where I say, well, if you give Joe Burrow the Eagles defense or the Ravens defense or the Bills defense, they're probably 12-5. They're probably 13-4 in my opinion. And there's so many of those games that came down to the wire where he showed up and he put all these points up and his defense let him down. So that's why I think it should be Joe Burrow. Threw for 5K yards, 44 touchdowns, 45 touchdowns, only 9 picks. Behind such a bad offensive line with a horrible defense. So that's why I think he should win it. But that's my word is messed up. But I think Josh Allen is going to win it.
All right. I got some numbers here for you that I've
okay.
Here we go. Lamar Jackson. You want to talk about records?
Yep.
First player in NFL history to have 4,000 passing yards, 40-plus touchdowns, and less than 5 interceptions in the same season.
Mm-hmm.
First player to ever have 4,000 passing yards and 800 rushing yards in the same season. First player to have 4,000 passing yards and 900 rushing yards in the same season. Second best passer rating in a single season in NFL history.
Yeah, that's
the best touchdown to interception ratio in a single season in NFL history.
He passed Rodgers?
Touchdown interception ratio, yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He had 41 touchdowns and 4 picks. His passer rating was second best all time, behind 2011 Rodgers. He had, and then he also, this season, 8.8 yards per attempt. Second best was 8.59. That's ridiculous. So, yeah, I mean, like, you can go, I mean, Lamar set a whole bunch of records. Here was my point.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, Burrow's 1, Lamar's 2, and then Josh Allen's 3. But I think Josh Allen's going to win it. And mind you, Joe Burrow, we want to go stats. Joe Burrow had more total yards than Lamar and more total touchdowns than Lamar as well. But we're just talking numbers at that point. So
listen, all 3 of them, honestly, 4, because Saquon had MVP caliber seasons.
Mm-hmm. 8th player or 9th player for 2K yards, something like that.
If Lamar, Burrow, Allen, or Saquon did what they did last year, the year before, or the year before that, they would have won MVP. The only player in recent memory, to have a season as good as what those guys did was 2020 Aaron Rodgers. That was the last time we saw any player have a year as good as Lamar, Burrow, Allen, or Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough.
So then, since it's tonight, who do you think is going to win? Final vote, lock it in.
Looks like Lamar is going to win. Just
okay.
I say that off of just the same people who vote on that are the same voters for first team All-Pro, and it wasn't that Lamar got it, it was that it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And then it was, I also look at just betting odds, like it looks like Lamar is favored more than Allen is.
Okay.
But the books are kind of split on that, but it looks a little more in Lamar's favor. But if I had a vote, first team All-Pro Lamar, MVP Josh Allen. That's what I would have done if I had a vote. So I'm sure there are plenty of people who voted Lamar for first team All-Pro that did vote for Allen for MVP, which is why I don't think it's definitely Lamar. Mm-hmm. But I think it probably is because of the margin. It wasn't close that he had the amount of first place votes he had for Allen.
Yeah.
So that's my main reasoning, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see in a couple hours.
An hour. Yeah. I'm gonna go Josh Allen. I think he wins it. Speaking of, did you watch the Pat McAfee Show, or do you watch the Pat McAfee Show?
I have been watching the Pat McAfee Show consistently since 2019.
Okay, all right. I don't want to say I just started. I've always watched on and on, but the last year, I pretty much watched almost every day, almost.
He is my guy. I love Pat. I told anyone who would listen in 2019, 2020 that he was going to do exactly what he has done.
So you watched today?
Not today. Actually, I listened to, I did see a clip with him and Greeny today.
Yeah. Greeny was on there.
But
no, some good guests today. It was Puka Nakua was on there. Greeny was on there. Drew Brees was on there.
Nice.
Aiden Hutchinson was on there. Dan Orlovsky went back on. So
I love Dan Orlovsky, by the way.
Yeah, he's great.
I think he is one of the most. I think he's one of the best analysts out there. Not just because of the knowledge he has, but the fact that he's able to simplify stuff. I never played. So there's only so much stuff that you can know.
Yeah.
Because I don't have firsthand experience. There is no former player, or very few former players that I've heard, that can simplify it in a way for someone like me to understand. That I would never know because I didn't play. That's what I like about him.
Yeah. Another good one is Greg Olsen.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And then I think the best analyst of someone who never played, and I don't think this is close, is Mina Kimes.
The Asian girl?
Yes. She is so good at, and she has knowledge that is crazy for someone who never did play.
Yeah.
She understands the X's and O's really well.
She does. She really does.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. All right, next topic here is... What was that?
I said, even though he's a Steeler, I like Ryan Clark, too.
Is Aaron Rodgers is the next topic we're going to get into. So the question is, and then after I ask and you answer, I've got some stats here. Should Aaron Rodgers retire? And if not, what teams would take him?
Okay. Yeah, he should. I think he will, by the way. I do think that he will.
Okay.
But at this point in his career, he is a not bad, but below average quarterback. Where he's not as bad as people think that he was this year. Like, I think a lot of people thought he played poorly this year. I'm not going to go that far. But I do think he was a little below average. He is going to be 41 next year.
Mm-hmm.
He is, to say a guy that comes with baggage is the understatement of the century. I mean, you're inheriting a lot when you bring him in.
Yeah.
Where when he was Aaron Rodgers, it was fine. When you're an average quarterback, it's tough. It's kind of tough to pull it off. And he can be a top 32 quarterback in the NFL next season if he needs to be.
All right, Josh. Top
That's
32?
the whole thing. Well, that's my whole point. Is when you look at it like that, can he start? The reason why I said it like that is, can he be a starter? I wasn't saying that he'd be number 28. Okay. I'm saying that he is a guy that can still be one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the world if he needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Can he be one of the 15 best? I don't think so.
Okay.
That was kind of the second part of that.
Okay.
Well,
so
I don't know.
I love Rodgers. He's the best ball thrower in NFL history. He's the best ball thrower I've ever seen. Okay, I'm not going to open a whole nother can of worms comparing Rodgers to Brady, but I love Rodgers. I think the last 10 games of the season, you could tell that Achilles really got healthy. He was moving around in the pocket. You saw him throwing across his body, zipping it, looking nice.
You saw flashes.
Exactly. Last 10 games of the season, he threw for 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
And I'll tell you what, that last game of the season against you guys.
Yeah, he went crazy.
That game, he looked like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm a very honest guy, and I call it how it is. And even though I was a Dolphins fan and my dad was upset next to me, I was like, man, Raj looks good, man. Raj looks good. Yeah. He needs to come back, right? So I'll say this. Let's compare Mahomes' stats for this season with Rodgers, okay?
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to round up because he's off by 3 yards. He threw for 3,900 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 3,928 yards. Not far off. Not far off. Okay. Aaron Rodgers threw for 28 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes, 26. Aaron Rodgers threw 11 interceptions. Patrick Mahomes threw 11 interceptions. Now, this is where it gets a little funky. Aaron Rodgers' QBR, 48.1. Patrick Mahomes, 67.7. But then we look at the completion percentage. Aaron Rodgers, 63%. Patrick Mahomes, 67%. So if we compare apples to apples...
That's a pretty big gap.
Just in the QBR, though.
No, the completion percentage.
But that's exactly where I was going. So if we compare apples to apples,
huge gap.
They look the same, but the completion percentage, the whole story, you know how many dropped passes the Jets receivers had this season? I don't know the number, but I know it was a lot.
I can tell you. Let me look it up. This is not even me trying to prove you right or wrong. I'm curious to see where he ranked, where the Jets ranked.
And I'll say that because I watched a good amount of Jets games this season because A, I love Aaron Rodgers, and B, if this was his last season, I wanted to watch almost every game that I could. So while you look that up, I'll just say I think people forget that 2022, his last year with the Packers, I don't think people know he played the last 10, 12 games with a broken right thumb. Throwing hand. Broken right thumb. Yeah. People don't realize that. Then he leaves Green Bay. They don't make the playoffs. He goes to Jets, tears his Achilles fourth play of the game, right? Misses a whole game or whole season. Comes back. You can tell he's a little sluggish. Last 10 games, 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Nobody's talking about it. So I think he finally got his stride back. Him and Vontae were finally hitting it up. Garrett Wilson understood his role. Tyler Conklin was playing good. Breece Hall was healthy. I think they finally got in a rhythm. Now, I think their defense needs a lot of help. Because they were not the same defense they were last season when they were one of the best or the best in the NFL. And that offensive line needs help. But I think he's still got ball left in him, man. I firmly believe that.
Found it.
Go ahead.
So there's two ways of looking at this here.
Okay.
I'm looking at PFF's adjusted completion percentage, which I'll read exactly what that is when I find it. Here it is. The percentage of passes thrown. So it's drops, spikes, they get rid of them. And it's just completions. And then it's completions plus drops.
Yeah.
So they just count the drops as completions. Their adjusted completion percentage, Mahomes is 77.1, which is 15th out of 44.
Uh-huh.
Aaron Rodgers was 73.7, which is 27th out of 44.
Okay.
So still a pretty good gap for Mahomes. But to your point about dropped passes, Aaron Rodgers was 4th in percentage of passes that were dropped.
Bingo.
So, in terms of just drops, yeah, there is and Mahomes had the 11th least, so upper middle of the pack, but not the least, but a lot less.
Yeah.
So your point was kind of proven right and wrong.
Yeah. I think he's got ball left in him.
Against you.
I think he's got ball left in him, man. I
do too.
He looks good, and I say that to say I have NFL Plus or Premium or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. And I go back and I watch film. I watch Jayden Daniels film. I think he looks phenomenal. But I watch Raj, and bro, he's still playing at a high level. He's still his hard count and getting people off sides and getting those free plays. Man, I get goosebumps talking about Aaron Rodgers, man.
He's great.
God, he's great.
But, okay. That quarterback game you played with Jayden Daniels, play that game with Aaron Rodgers. Are you taking Aaron Rodgers over any of those guys in 2025? Not in 2011. In 2025, are you taking Aaron Rodgers over literally any of those guys that you mentioned? Probably not.
Let's see. Aaron Rodgers over Tua? Yes. Jared Goff over Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, Goff.
I don't know.
I
think that's close.
Now.
Yeah, and to the point, last 10 games, 18 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He finally started to click and get his groove.
He did.
if we're talking end of the season Aaron Rodgers, I'm taking Raj. CJ Stroud or Raj, I'm taking Raj. Joe Burrow or Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow. Brock Purdy or Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to take Brock Purdy. He's a lot more mobile, and I think he's I think he is the most underrated rushing quarterback in the NFL right now.
After this season, yeah.
yeah. Matthew Stafford or Aaron
from.
Rodgers.
He didn't really run much, and then this year he decided, you know what, I'm going to run a lot now.
Yeah. So a lot of these guys, like right now, I'd probably rank Aaron Rodgers anywhere between like 9 and 15. That's where I would put him, personally. And I know a lot of people disagree, and I understand that, and I'm fine with it. That's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, you know. So yeah. Anything else on Aaron Rodgers before we move on? Because I know that was a good topic. No?
No.
All right. So next one, obviously got to talk about Lamar Jackson and your Baltimore Ravens. Okay. So first of all, before we get into that, I just want to talk and ask you about how your experience was at M&T Bank Stadium and how that was. Oh, no, not M&T. Orchard Park, whatever their stadiums. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, how was it? It was cold. It was snowing. How was that entire experience?
First of all, as a Ravens season ticket holder who has been to 75-ish, give or take, Ravens games.
God.
The Ravens have spoiled me. This is not me talking. These are facts. Mm-hmm. The Ravens are known as the best game day experience in the entire NFL. Okay. They win every single year the awards for like best video team that they show into the stadium, the music selection, like that stuff, the actual like game day presentation and the way that they do it. The Ravens are known for having the best in the league. So it's also a lot louder than people give us credit for.
Okay.
I will tell you that I have now been to Philly, Tampa, New Orleans, and Buffalo. And MetLife as well.
Nice.
For games. 3 of those were this year.
Shoot. Which ones?
I went to Buffalo, Buffalo, Tampa, and MetLife. And then, I went to Philly with Justin Pugh, which was sick. But granted, where I was sitting plays a large part in it.
Okay.
The only stadium that was anywhere close to the level of noise of the Ravens Stadium was Buffalo.
Okay.
Philly, I will say, and I went for a Thursday night game, might have been where I was sitting, not as loud as I expected.
Okay.
Maybe it's where I was sitting. That's entirely possible, but I was very surprised by that. Okay. You know how Eagles fans are. But the Bills Stadium, let's just say it's a good thing they're building a new one.
Yeah.
It is awful, like their actual stadium.
Oh, okay. I did not know this. How so?
Getting inside the stadium was something unlike anything I have ever experienced. I mean, it was awful.
Uh-huh.
Bills fans, the nicest fan base I have ever interacted with.
That's awesome. That's all everyone talks about.
Awesome.
Okay.
It's crazy because like the Bills fans on social media. Now, the Lamar and Allen debate naturally put, especially on Twitter, like Ravens and Bills fans were going after each other naturally, but it was so toxic. It was like really, I mean, even for NFL, like it really was bad. The way Ravens and Bills fans honestly are still interacting with each other. But the fans inside that stadium, awesome people. Like really awesome people.
Good.
The Bills fans make that game day experience what it is. Where it was great. The actual experience was great. Their video team was, I am someone that really cares a lot about like the videos they show. I am a big like crowd guy. I get excited with stuff like that. I'm a Ravens fan. We know we have the tradition with Ray Lewis. The Ravens really value pregame intros. And pregame intros out of Philly, New Orleans, Tampa, no one came anywhere close to the Ravens on that.
Okay.
No, not even close.
Nice.
But and the videos they show, Buffalo is probably second best, but still not as good as us. Where like the game day experience was, the fans were amazing. The game itself sucked. But
yeah, that was. Let's talk about that game now because I had that on here for us to talk about. So those turnovers, the 2 turnovers, I'll just say by Lamar, were that interception he threw it. He immediately knew, put his hands on his helmet, immediately knew.
I think
it was a bad throw.
Around on that one, there's no way. Like I think it was a bad throw, but there was because where we were sitting, we were right on that side.
Okay.
And Bateman was nowhere near the ball. Where there was it was a bad. I think the throw would have been off, but it was so off that it was like something. I think there was some kind of miscommunication on that.
Gotcha. So yeah, I honestly the interception and the fumble, in my opinion, weren't that bad. The one that was brutal.
The fumble was not great.
Was the fumble from Mark Andrews. That's what I think was worse because you guys were driving. Fourth quarter, right? It was the fourth quarter. It was like the start of the fourth quarter or something, driving, and then that sucked.
And that was a huge play, too. That was a really nice chunk play.
It was like 25, 30 yards, and then just gone. Instead of going north and south, he went east and west. But I'll say this. They drove down, they ended up scoring. I jumped up. I was like, let's go, because I hate the Bills. I don't hate anything or anybody. I hate the Bills. I just love to see them lose. Nothing more brings me joy than to see the Bills lose. So to see them lose in the AFC Championship game was just Christmas came early, even though it's 11 months away. But I'll say this: y'all scored, and I'm sitting there, and I was recording my reaction. Throws it, and I start to put my hands up. I'm like, and then he drops it. I was like, no, and I fell down, fell over. I was like, no way, Mark Andrews dropped it. So I'm going to ask you this. How was the stadium's reaction? Was it like half like gasps, like, or was it half celebrating, mostly celebrating? How was that?
The stadium went nuts.
Oh.
Well, that was what it was, where because of where we were sitting, and I couldn't be more grateful for TickPick for hooking us up with free tickets right behind the Ravens bench because it was insane.
Nice.
But to my point of there's nowhere better to sit than end zone seats, high up, the view is amazing, but the view is amazing for your side of the field.
Yeah.
So that specific play, you see Lamar throw it. You don't see the ball. So what we saw was Lamar throw it to an open Mark Andrews. We don't really see what happens, but we are very clearly seeing the stadium explode.
Just erupts. Yeah. Damn.
And then, naturally, we look right over here, the Jumbotron, and we see that the ball hit him right in the hands. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We led an 88-yard. Lamar Jackson, Mr. Playoff Choker, led an 88-yard, 2-minute drill in Buffalo, in the snow, to shut up all of the narratives, then threw an accurate ball on the 2-point conversion, and it got dropped. All of the narratives of, like, Lamar can't do it. He did it. And that happened. Now, games are not won and lost on one play, and I was very vocal. I will continue to be vocal. Listen, Mark had a terrible day.
Oh, he did.
Usable day.
He had like 2-3 drops, fumble, and then that dropped pass. Yeah.
But first of all, I would never support people getting personal with him, which a lot of Ravens fans did. Yeah. But on top of it, while I think he does deserve a huge part of the blame, let's not act like he was the only player that deserves blame.
Yeah.
But And he is Mark Andrews. He's going to bounce back. I mean, he is the Ravens. He's the best pass catcher this team's ever had. He's the Ravens' all-time leader in touchdowns. He's going to be the Ravens' all-time leader in catches and yards, which is he'll break both of those records next year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's money mark.
Yeah.
Lamar says any chance he gets that it's like peanut butter and jelly. I think that's what he says. I think so. I think it's what it is. It's either that or it's something. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's peanut butter and jelly, or I think it's like bread and butter. Bread and butter. That's what he says.
Nice.
That's what he says. He's like, it's like bread and butter. Him and Mark. They came into the league together. We drafted Hayden Hurst in round 1 and drafted Mark in round 3, and Mark became the guy. Yeah. But man, he'll bounce back.
So then that leads into my next question, which is, what do you think the Ravens have to do in order to get over that hump to win a Super Bowl? Whether it's more acquisitions during free agency, whether it's just showing up and not, turning the ball over.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the team is flawless, but I'll put our roster against anyone in the NFL. Philly is the only team in the NFL that I think has a more complete team than us.
Okay.
That has also been the case for multiple years now, where we are one of, if not the most complete teams in the league. Yeah. Would I like to see maybe address maybe a little more receiver? Yeah. Do I want to see us address the pass rush? Definitely. Do I want to see us help corner? Yeah. Do I want to see us help the offensive line? Yeah. But the Ravens are in a position where you just have to just run it back. Yeah, we'll make a couple of improvements. But there isn't much more you can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you just gotta, and I know everyone's like the Chiefs got lucky, and while you don't want to discredit them, luck is a huge part of winning. Whether that is they got lucky because the refs bailed them out, or they got lucky because they stayed healthy and they didn't turn the ball over and the ball happened to bounce their way a lot. Not this year.
Mm-hmm.
Every single Super Bowl champion in NFL history is usually the luckiest team in the league also.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's unpredictable, where you got all the talent in the world. Are you going to have the luck 4 games in a row?
Mm-hmm.
That's the real question. Where you don't know. Yeah. You just don't know. But there are plenty. Like go online right now and look up that roster and tell me that team cannot easily win a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
they can.
They can.
Easily.
I would say one more receiver. Like you mentioned. I think one more receiver. Because you have Isaiah Likely, you have Mark Andrews, you have Zay. I think one more, maybe Cooper Kupp, you get him for cheap, maybe sign him to like a two-year, $20 million deal, something like that.
Sure, but I want a big body receiver. If we got Zay, we got Bate. I want to got the one thing that Lamar's never had. T's
6'5".
He is. No, it was just more of like, I don't see that happening.
Yeah, to another division. Yeah.
Woo, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Especially to stick it to Cincy.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. Oh my God. I will also tell you, as someone who sees older, so I've seen the Bengals come here many times. T. Higgins, and I'll tell you from in person, but I've noticed this watching games at home too. T. Higgins has made probably the most insane almost catches I've ever seen in my life. Where I have seen multiple times in person, I think 3 times I've seen in person, T. Higgins make this insane one-handed catch, but it was like on the sideline and both feet are out of bounds because the ball was overthrown. So no one will see it. They don't even show you a replay because the ball is way out of bounds.
Yeah.
But then I remember did he just catch that? Like, he was way out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
But if that was in bounds, that would have been a catch. I mean, I've seen him do it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
He is like a guy like that for Lamar would be. Imagine Lamar doing that thing where he just runs around the entire field and just chucks it up. But then he chucks it up to a guy like T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Sure.
Yeah.
But it's just more about little, like they don't have any glaring weaknesses. They also probably are going to need to get a new kicker, which is going to be interesting.
Who?
One that acts normally in a massage parlor.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I was like, bro, what you talking about? Justin Tucker is him. But yeah, I forgot about that.
He also did have the worst year of his career.
Yeah.
So there's also that aspect of it. But I mean, he's Justin Tucker. That's the thing that people don't realize, why that whole situation is so shocking. There is the only player in this city that is more well-known and loved than Justin Tucker in the city of Baltimore is Lamar. That's it. That is it. There is nobody else. If you went and asked 1,000 Ravens fans who lived in Baltimore, name 3 Ravens, and you tallied up who got named the most, I guarantee you Lamar is the only player getting named more than Justin Tucker. He is so beloved. He's so well known. He's on a million commercials.
Yeah.
He is. So it's so shocking, that whole thing. But we don't even need to get into that.
Yeah.
We've also been here for an hour and a half, and I kind of do got to go soon. But
oh shoot. Okay.
It's been fun though.
Yeah. Can I do one more thing?
Mike Jackson.
Mike Jackson. That's his name.
Put it in. Hold on. Share your screen first.
Okay.
Share your screen.
Who, Jackson?
Wait. Oh, there we go. Mike. Come on.
Wait. There's no Mike Jackson?
Just type in Jackson. Try Michael.
Hey! No way.
Shit.
No.
Almost fell out of the chair.
No way.
That's how you wrap it up.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh
I'm
my
proud.
god.
I'm proud of that. That's a mic drop right there.
Let's go. All right, you want to end on that? I had 2 more things, but we can end on that if you gotta go.
I do kind of got to go. But this is fun. I'll come on again another time. This is fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But Josh, thank you for your time. I really do appreciate
This is fun.
You coming on. Yeah, I've been looking for people just to come on here and just talk sports. And I feel like I'll make this quick so you can go. I feel like you're not a casual. Like, respectfully, you don't just stand behind narratives. You actually speak your mind, and you don't just follow whatever the media is saying. And I appreciate that, because in my opinion, it's hard to find people like that oh, it's rigged, this and that. Like, all right, bro, like, come on, have your own opinion. So yeah. I do appreciate it, and I really enjoyed the conversation. So
no, man, this is fun. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you on next video. Peace. Perfect.